leaf modification. So you know very well, leaf basically it is divided into three parts, that is leaf base, petiole, and as well as the lamina. So we'll discuss all three examples. First of all, we are talking about that is leaf base modification, basal part. Modification of leaf base. So in this point, we are talking about the two conditions basically. So first one, you know very well, leaf base also called as the hypopodium. Hypo, that is below, podium, that is leaf. Leaf lower portion, leaf base, right? Below portion. It's also called as the hypopodium. So in case of the leaf base, first of all, we are talking about what is meaning of pulvinus. And one question already asked in NEET examination, what is the meaning of the pulvinus? And second, we talk about that is shading leaf base. Shading leaf base. Okay, so first of all, we are talking about number one, what is meaning of the pulvinus? Pulvinus, simple meaning, leaf base basically it is a swollen. What is meaning of the pulvinus? Pulvinus nothing but whatever the leaf base is present, that leaf base now it's swollen. So normally leaf base basically it's the very point where meristems are present or node area is present, and from that node area new plant they get arise. But when we are using the word pulvinus, simple meaning whatever the leaf base basically these are the swollen, and such condition it is present very much common in case of the beans as well as cassia as well as mimosa. Mimosa, okay. No suas, basically they are swollen because these are the one characteristic feature. Leaf basically they are very small size, right? You can say there is a food storage pot because leaf base also these are the green, but that is a one kind of the modification. Performance of the photosynthesis, and the second function that is food synthesis. You can say that part. So we are talking about the three example which is come under leaf base, where swollen leaf base, also called as the pulvinus. Example, beans, cassia, and the another one that is mimosa. Mimosa also called as the touch me not plant, right? Touch me not, you know very well. So mimosa. So these are the condition. Basically, it is called as the swollen condition, and swollen base simply called as the pulvinus. One question. Another question, we are talking about the shading of the leaf base. What is meaning of the shading of the leaf base? Whatever we are talking about the leaf base, basically they are showing expansion and maximum area of the stem covered by the leaf base. Maximum area. So what is meaning of the shading of the leaf base? Simple meaning, that is leaf base get expand. Leaf base it is get expand and cover some part of same. So they are simply showing the expansion. So expansion of the leaf base get expand. Such condition simply these are called as that is shading of leaf base. So different condition is sometimes what happens, stem partially may be covered, might be possible stem completely will be covered. It's depend upon the condition. So part of the stem it is get covered, and that covering basically दो type के हो सकते हैं, means they can cover entire stem, complete stem cover, or you can say that is partial. Partial means some part. Partial stem covered. Both conditions are present. In case of the completely, you can remember one example, that is grasses. In case of the grasses, basically whatever we are talking about the leaf base at the bottom, they can cover the stem part. आपने देखा भी होगा. I don't know. गणपति गणेश चतुर्थी में होता है ना, there is something एक specific type का एक grass आता है, दुर्वा जिसको कहा जाता है. So we are using for God Ganesha. So if you see that condition, leaves they are completely covered the stem part, right? And why these are possible? It is possible because it is showing expansion of the leaf base and they cover the entire portion of the stem. So in case of the grasses, durva, right? So I think there is a word, I don't know what say in Konkani, but normally in case of what we say, that is there is a one kind of the grasses actually normally commonly. So grasses. These are the one example, and the another example that is polygonum. Really, polygonum. Okay. When we are talking about partially covered, you can remember only one example, that is calotropis. Calotropis, and another one that is poppy. Poppy, that is khaskhas. जो fry वगैरह करके आ जाता है ना, so for the when you fry into masala, so there is a something white color like a कुछ होता है, so that is a khaskhas, and that khaskhas nothing but we are talking about poppy. Poppy seeds basically white color. It's look like exactly rava. एक क्या कहेंगे, it's a what we say in kitchen kind ingredients है ये. So poppy and the calotropis, these are the two example where stain they are partially covered. चलो done. Done this part. So these are the two examples which is come under the leaf based modification. Number one, that is pulvinous, and then number second, that is shading. Remember one thing, pulvinous, already one question asked. Pulvinous nothing but that is expansion of not sorry, shading nothing but we are talking about that is leaf based, they are showing expansion, and while the pulvinous, that is swollen leaf base is present. Then should we continue next part? Next point, we are talking about petiole modification, that is middle part, mesopodium. एक second. Number second, we are talking about petiole modification. And petiole also called as mesopodium. So one question already asked, petiole it is get expand. It's look like a wings. So we are talking about first condition, that is wings petiole. And the another point we'll talk about spongy petiole. Wings petiole and the spongy petiole. Again, these are the two modifications which is present in case of the petiole. You know very well, between the leaf base and the leaf lamina, there is a something of green color structure are present, right? So that area basically is called as the petiole. Petiole हम आगे देखेंगे in anatomy chapter. Basically, they reach with the collenchyma tissue. So petiole, they can provide some flexibility to the leaf lamina. They can provide strength to the leaf lamina, and ultimately they can provide the mechanical support to the leaf. So we are talking about the petiole. So wings petiole means what? Simple meaning, whatever the petioles are present, that petiole it is get expand and they are performing photosynthesis process. So we are talking about wings petiole. Number one point, they are green in color. First of all, they are showing expansion, or we can say that is expanded petiole is present. Expanded petiole is present. Number basically whatever the petiole is present, that petiole they are performing the function photosynthesis. So petiole basically they are green, and you know very well, whenever we are talking about the green condition, it means that they are performing the function photosynthesis. Okay, and such type of this wing petiole, it's very much common in case of the citrus. Example for the wings petiole. So example basically we are talking about that is citrus. So wings petiole हमने अब तक देखा था in case of the pinus condition, wing seed present, which is a diploid in stage. Even in case of the pinus, wings pollen also present, which is a haploid in nature. Here we are talking about the wings petiole, which is a leaf modification, and such type of this expansion of the wing petiole, such present in case of the citrus. Obviously, what happened in case of the citrus, leaf are present, but more than as compared to leaf, that petiole region they are showing expansion. They are green in color and they are performing photosynthesis function. Okay. Now, next point, that is spongy petiole. You know very well, spongy means we are talking about something or tissues are present who easily float on the water. So spongy petiole means what? Basically, that petiole they reach with the parenchyma tissue. Reach with arenchyma tissue. And you know where whenever we are using the word arenchyma, right? It means that that is a spongy tissue. Rich with arenchyma tissue. And due to this nature, ultimately, arenchyma tissue is present. So now they help in flow. The function, it is help in floating on water. And definitely, if we are talking about the arenchyma tissue, so spongy petiole, basically, mostly they are present in case of aquatic plant. And we are taking one example, that is Ecornia, also called as the water hyacinth. Ecornia responsible for create water pollution. They drain the oxygen from the water, and they are responsible for the, if oxygen gets removed, so ultimately whatever the aquatic organisms like fish, ultimately they get killed. Ecornia हम देखेंगे in chapter ecology part. So it is having, it is one kind of this, they create a algal bloom because they drain the oxygen from the water. Let's see, but just remember one thing, spongy petiole nothing but in case of the Ecornia, why Ecornia they can easily float on the water body, because they reach with the arenchyma tissue. And then in case of the Ecornia, whatever the arenchyma tissue reach area, that nothing but we are talking about, that is a petiole, spongy petiole present, that's why leaf easily float on the water. Okay, done. Done. Just quickly check, these are the two modifications which is come under the petiole, wings petiole and the spongy petiole. एक second. Okay, chalo. So next, third point, we are talking about leaf lamina modification. Last point. Should I continue? Chalo. So we are talking about next point, leaf lamina modification. Epipodium, upper part. And in case of the leaf lamina, basically we are taking very important question, that is phyllodes. We are talking about, there is a presence of the phyllodes petiole. Okay, phyllodes. So why we are talking about the leaf lamina modification, we'll discuss that part. You know very well, basically whenever we are talking about the petiole, these are the, normally they are green in color, they are performing a function. And whatever the photosynthesis function or whatever the transpiration function, they are performed by the plant, that is which part, that is leaf lamina part, which is showing the expansion. But what happened, we are talking about what is the meaning of the phyllodes petiole. And phyllodes petiole, basically they are green in color. Okay, so you know very well, if they are green in color, so obviously they are performing the function, that is photosynthesis function. So these are the common function, phyllodes petiole. So now we are talking about some point, what is the meaning of the phyllodes. So normally what happens in case of the some xerophytic plant, desert plant, to avoid water loss or to control the water loss, whatever the leaf lamina is present, that lamina they are showing reduction, they undergo the process of the reduction. And whatever the functions of the photosynthesis, all those function it is performed by the petiole. Okay, so I'm writing some information, please write down. So we are talking about xerophytic plant condition. In xerophytic plant, or you can say in case of the desert condition, in xerophytic plant, to reduce water loss, to reduce water loss, leaf lamina undergo reduction, they undergo the modification, they undergo the process of modification. Okay, modification. And what is meaning of modification? Modification nothing but we are talking about, that is reduction. So obviously whatever the leaf lamina is present, that leaf lamina, it is having expansion, they are having high surface area. But to avoid water loss during the transpiration, now what happened, ultimately they go the reduction process. And now what happened, during that condition, whatever the petiole is present, that petiole, basically they are performing a function, that is photosynthesis. So leaf, it is not involved during the photosynthesis. Which part is involved in photosynthesis? Part of petiole. And such condition where petiole, basically they are called as the phyllodes. Phyllodes means what? Basically these are the one leaf modification. Leaf lamina, they are showing reduction, and petiole, they are performing the function of the photosynthesis, right? And such condition, it is present in case of the Australian acacia. One question already asked. Australian acacia. Okay, and such type of this Australian acacia, basically we just discussed, there is a presence of the phyllodes petiole. Okay, phyllodes petiole, that's it. So I'm writing some information. Basically हमने दो condition अब तक देखे थे. We discussed one point, that is phyloclade. I hope you remember. Last class we discussed about the phyloclade. Phyloclade, and now today we are talking about, that is phyllodes. Both, if you see, दोनों name same लगते हैं, but please remember, whenever we are talking about the phyloclade, basically they are originated from the stem. Phyloclade, yes, phyloclade, basically they are stem modification. Origin, basically these are the stem. And when we are talking about the phyllodes, basically these are the leaf modification. Please don't get confused between phyloclade and the phyllodes, because यहाँ से question design होता है. But when we are talking about what is the common function, so both definitely phyloclade as well as the phyllodes, they are what we say, the function they are having similar. Origin might be different, definitely, but whatever we are talking about the function, both they are responsible for the function of photosynthesis, and this part also it is responsible for the photosynthesis. So please make sure phyloclade and the phyllodes, these are the two different part. Origin get different. Phyloclade stem modification है, phyllodes leaf modification. More specifically, these are the petiole modification, and as well as these are the lamina modification. दोनों का modification होता है. Because now what happen? Petiole, they perform the photosynthesis function, while lamina they are showing reduction to avoid the water loss. So obviously, if lamina showing reduction, so number of the stomata they get decreased, and if number of the stomata get decreased, it means that there is less transpiration. So basically they come under two types, but more specifically we are talking about, these are the phyllodes. It's the one kind of the petiole, where petiole they are performing the function of photosynthesis, because leaf undergo reduction. Leaf lamina undergo reduction. Got it? Got it? एक second, मैं ले रही हूँ. Screenshot. Night riders are not in meeting. चलो, आप लोग हो, you are important. Next point. Just next point, we are talking about complete leaf modification. One example. So we discussed three part individually: leaf base modification, then petiole modification, as well as the lamina modification with example. We are talking about one example, Nephanthus, also called as the insectivorous plant, also called as the pitcher plant, where entire leaf they are showing modification. So please write down the title. We are taking very special condition where entire leaf, complete leaf get modified. entire leaf means all this part, matlab leaf base as well as petiole and as well as the leaf lamina, entire leaf they are showing modification. Common example, nepenthes. Nepenthes, commonly these are also called as the teacher plant. And such nepenthes, basically these are the one example of insectivorous plant. हमने अभी तक देखा था utricularia. Utricularia also these are the one insectivorous plant. Now we are talking about the nepenthes. Nepenthes also they are called as the insectivorous plant. Normally what happen, whenever we are talking about the insectivorous plant to fulfill the nitrogen deficiency, because normally you know very well, bacteria they are showing symbiotic association, they fix atmospheric nitrogen and they provide to plant. But because for the nitrogen fixation there is a requirement of the one enzyme, nitrogenase enzyme. That nitrogenase enzyme it is totally absent in case of plant. That enzyme it is present. Such enzyme is specifically present in few bacteria, and that's bacteria called as a nitrogen fixing bacteria. But some plant like nepenthes they require nitrogen, because हमने पहले discuss किया था NPK, these are the critical element, nitrogen, phosphate, potassium, critical element for the plant. So to fulfill the nitrogen deficiency, plant become insectivorous, they can trap, right? So in this point of view we are talking about entire leaf they are showing modification. So first of all we start from the leaf base. So normally we are talking about these are the leaf base, number one part. And this leaf base basically it is a green in color. And obviously when we are talking about the green in color, it means that they are performing the function photosynthesis. So this is the first part where leaf base they undergo the modification and they are performing the photosynthesis. Now we are talking about region of the petiole. Petiole basically they are showing uh, kind of tendril structure. So we first of all we cover the leaf base, then we talk about. So ये जो पूरा structure है, this one, which is represented by the green color, all this entire structure, including expansion, okay, these are called as the leaf base, which is a green in color and they are performing photosynthesis function. Now we are talking about the part of tendril. Tendril means the petiole basically they undergo the modification and they converted into tendril. So this blue color, nothing but we are talking about the petiole. And again, petiole, they undergo the modification and they form a tendril. So petiole again modification, leaf base again they are showing modification. So leaf base they are showing expansion, green in color, performing the function photosynthesis, while petiole also they undergo the modification, and after the modification again they form a tendril like structure. We are talking about the leaf lamina, number 3. And leaf lamina basically they create some means they create some structure like feature like structure, and now they easily trap the insect. So quickly we draw that structure also. And यहाँ पे होगा ये लीड, ठीक है. So we are talking about this part. These are the number third part, and this part nothing but we are talking about lamina. Lamina. Lamina also they undergo the modification, and these lamina basically they form a feature. Feature means what? Something, or they create something a notch, or they create a something a area where they can easily trap to insect. So basically lamina again they undergo the modification and they form a feature, and the main function of the feature for the trapping insect, they can trap insect, trap insect. And the last one we are talking about this part, ये जो part है number 4, So number four, basically these are the lead. Lead means what? Once that insect enter inside the lamina, they get insert inside the pitcher. So ultimately they can easily close the lead. So lead, nothing but basically these are the leaf apex modification. Leaf apex modification. So if you see in case of the nephanthus, from leaf base, petiole, lamina, as well as the leaf apex area. Apex means what? Suppose a leaf है, suppose a leaf है, right? So that whatever the tip, suppose these are the tip, right? So this tip basically is called as the leaf apex. Apex means what? Tip. So base also undergo the modification, petiole region also undergo the modification, lamina also undergo the modification, and even leaf apex area also they undergo the modification, right? So nephanthus, these are the example of the one what we say insectivorous plant where entire leaf including leaf base, petiole, lamina, all those parts they undergo the modification. Got it? Clear? Any doubt from the leaf part? Here we complete the leaf with their modification, with their types, with venation, with what we say phyllotoxy, etc., etc. Any doubt? Any doubt from the leaf structure? Tanvi, can you give the examples? क्या पूछ रहे हैं? लीफ टेंडरिल you want? If you want, you can write down. Actually, वहां से question नहीं बनेगा. So I'm not giving that part. So if you want, you can write down. लीफ टेंड्रिल लेने से हम टेंड्रिल मॉडिफिकेशन ही ले लेते. In case of the tendril, first of all, we can take that is complete leaf. Complete leaf, it is converted into tendril. It is converted into tendril. ये हो गया पहला condition. And such condition, it is very much common in case of Lathyrus. Lathyrus को हम आगे भी देखेंगे when we talk about the Mendel. Now sometime leaf apex also they convert into tendril. Leaf apex also they convert into tendril, right? Leaf apex. So in this point of view, you can write down the one example, that is gloriosa. Gloriosa. Okay. Sometime if you want, you can write down that is petiole. They converted into tendril. Just हमने देखा example, that is nephanthus, feature plant, insectivorous plant. So nephanthus, they are also example where petiole they converted into tendril. That's it. Even आप cucurbits का भी ले सकते हो. In case of the cucurbits, basically stem they convert into tendril. Okay. And whenever we are talking about the leguminous plant, in case like Pisum sativum, in case of the leguminous plant, leaf they undergo the tendril. So एक point यहाँ पे बता देते हैं. मैम मैं आपको कॉल करती हूँ, मैं अभी क्लास में हूँ. हाँ क्लास चल रही. या हाँ हाँ एक मिनट. या so we are talking about the two example, cucurbits and the leguminous plant. So first we are talking about that is cucurbits. ठीक है. पहला आप example ले रहे हो, that is cucurbits. Cucurbits, please remember, in case of the cucurbits, tendril present, but that tendril basically they are stem modification. These are the stem modification, and due to that stem modification, basically they form a tendril. They form a tendril. So please don't get confused. And when we are taking the second example, like leguminous plant, Leguminous plant means you can remember that is Pisum sativum, and you know very well. In case of the Pisum, in case of the pea plant, again there is presence of the tendril. But now what happened? In this condition, leaf undergo the modification. Okay, leaf undergo the modification, and now further they form a tendril. So that is a two different condition. We are taking the one condition in case of the cucurbits, stem converted into tendril, and in case of the leguminous plant like Pisum, leaf they converted into tendril. Leaf tendril and the stem tendril to confuse. हाँ सुहास, might be possible for to create a confusion they might be asked. Tendril के ऊपर question नहीं आता, but if you want you can remember this two example, that's it, right? In case of the cucurbits, basically same tendril it is present, they are having in the both condition. We just discussed petiole also they form the tendril, stem also they can form the tendril, even leaf they also can form the tendril, so it's depend upon the condition. But इतना easy question तो नहीं बनेगा, because from this chapter so many questions will be designed. Okay, done. चलो, so next point we are talking about inflorescence. Tendril से question नहीं बनेगा सुहास, don't worry. Okay, fine. So next point we are talking about toward the flower, and towards this flower we are talking about that is group of flower. Nothing but we are talking about inflorescence. Okay, so write down the title. We are talking about next part, that is inflorescence. Inflorescence nothing but arrangement of the flower on peduncles or inflorescence axis. So again we are talking about these are the certain type of the arrangement. So arrangement of flowers on inflorescence axis, or simply we can say these are also called as the peduncles. Please remember this word, peduncles. Peduncles means what? These are also called as the inflorescence axis. Inflorescence axis also called as the peduncles. Simply we are taking the two types, racemose and the cymose, that's it. यहाँ से अगर क्वेश्चन बना स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन बनेगा, अदरवाइज देयर इज नो क्वेश्चन, मींस टाइप्स एंड एवरीथिंग, दैट एवरीथिंग पार्ट दैट ऑलरेडी इज एक्सक्लूडेड. So no need to remember types of inflorescence. Last year में include था, but now there's just some change. Types of fruit as well as the types of the inflorescence ये completely remove कर दिया है from the NEET. So we are simply talking about only two basic types with respect to racemose and the cymose. Racemose and the cymose. Okay. So in case of the racemose, first of all, we are talking about racemose. They are showing unlimited growth. Racemose, they are showing unlimited growth. But when you compare this part with the cymose, cymose basically they are showing limited growth. Okay. They are showing which growth pattern? They are showing limited growth pattern. So unlimited growth present in case of this racemose, while in case of the cymose type of the inflorescence, limited growth is present. Quickly we talk these some with four parameters, and then we talk about the diagrammatic representation. Now, second point, when we talk about difference between the racemose, in case of the racemose, basically whatever we are talking about, that is tip of the or the peduncle tip, basically they are free. There is no flower present on the tip. Simply we are talking about in this point of condition, whatever we are talking about, that is tip of inflorescence, more specifically inflorescence axis. Actually tip of inflorescence axis, basically they are free. Free means what? Without flower, there is no flower present. That's why tip is free. That's the reason such type of these racemose inflorescence, they are showing unlimited growth, because tip के ऊपर कुछ present ही नहीं है. So ultimately that tip region they are showing continuously growth and they form a new flowers. While when we are talking about, when you compare this point with the cymodes, in case of the cymodes, basically on tip, leaf is present. On tip of inflorescence axis, flower present. And that's why if flower is present, it means that it is not free. And if not free, means they are showing limited growth of axis. So third point we are talking about, that is arrangement. So racemose, basically they are showing acropetal arrangement. Acropetal arrangement, and when you compare this point with the cymodes, they are showing basipetal arrangement. So what is meaning of acropetal and what is meaning of the basipetal? Acropetal arrangement, simple meaning, whatever we are talking about, the young flower. So youngest flower, basically it is present on the apex. So acropetal, acro means what? Apex region. So simply we are talking about the youngest flower present on apex. They present on the tip. Such type of this condition, these are called as the acropetal. And what is meaning of the basipetal? Basipetal means what? Base. It means that youngest flower present at the base. Youngest flower present at base. So simple meaning है, you have to remember just terms. We are talking about that is apex, acropetal. Means youngest flower present on the tip, right? And now next point we are talking about, that is basipetal. Basipetal means the youngest flower, they are present at the base. That's it. Done? Done? And the last difference, we are talking about the arrangement pattern, that is centripetal arrangement and centrifugal arrangement. So in case of the racemose, basically they are showing सेंट्रीपेटल अरेंजमेंट. जितना एनसीईआरटी में दिया है फॉर द इन्फ्लोरेसेंस उतना ही करना है, एक्स्ट्रा कुछ नहीं करना है. So we are talking about that is centripetal arrangement and the another one that is centrifugal arrangement. So you know very well, whenever we are talking about that is centripetal arrangement, it means that outer to inner. Outer to means away from center towards the center, like that. So whenever we are talking about the arrangement pattern, like centripetal. So in case of the centripetal arrangement pattern, whatever we are talking about the youngest flower, that youngest flower they present at the center, like this. So basically these are the youngest flower. Youngest flower, and where these are the present, they present at the center. And whatever the old flowers are present, that old flower they present towards the periphery. So basically these are the outer side, there is a presence of the old one, old flower. So such type of this arrangement, these are called as the centripetal arrangement. From outer to inner development hoga, from outer to inner. Obviously, toward the outer side, mature flowers are present, old flowers are present, and the youngest flower that they are present at the center. But when you compare this point with centrifugal, in case of the centrifugal, exactly reverse scenario. At the center, यहाँ पे present हो गए. Toward the inner side, basically mature size of the flowers are present. हाँ, these are the transverse section, Pratyusha. So we are talking about that is oldest flower, basically they present toward the inner side, and towards the outer side, basically small size or youngest flowers are present. Youngest flower, right? So if you observe such type of this arrangement, so now easily you can observe that is inner to outer. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है development pattern? Inner to outer, because mature one or the oldest flower who first form, they present at the center, and whatever we are talking about the youngest one, youngest they are present toward the periphery. So exactly these are the transverse section. And on the basis of that, simply we can say that is two types of the arrangement in case of the inflorescence. Racemose, they are showing centripetal, and cymose, they are showing the centrifugal. So दो या फिर तीन ही क्वेश्चन ऐसे डिजाइन होंगे on the that complete part. Number one, that is racemose unlimited growth, racemose showing acropetal arrangement, and racemose they are showing centripetal arrangement. Cymose showing limited growth, cymose showing basipetal arrangement, and cymose showing centrifugal arrangement. Got it? So now we are taking this very simple diagram. Very simple. Yeah. So ये जो है, these are the axes. Simply we are talking about inflorescence axis, and inflorescence axis also called as the peduncles. Okay, peduncles. Now we are talking about the leaf. Leaf में कहाँ पे young present होगा? Young they always present on the tip. So simply draw the flowers. यहाँ पे for example we are talking about start from the bottom. So these are the oldest one, तो थोड़ा large size होगा. These are the quite smaller size. Then the third one ये इससे छोटा होगा. Then fourth one, again these are the smaller in size, again इससे छोटा होगा, and whatever the present on the tip, these are the smallest one. So what you understand? For example, we are giving the number, these are the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and these are the number 6. So whatever which is present at the tip basically these are the youngest flower present on the apex. And if you see leaf tip, these are the free, there is a no flower. That's why we are talking about racemose, they are showing unlimited growth, because whatever we are talking about the leaf ka jo area hai, tip region, these are the free. Still their meristems are present, they are showing the continuously growth, and they can form a new flower on the same axis, on inflorescence axis. Of this arrangement is called as a racemose type of the arrangement. Now next part we are talking about, that is cymose. Cymose हमने देखा limited growth show करेगा, means on the apex, on the tip, on the top position flower present, and cymose also showing basipetal arrangement, means youngest flower present at the base. तो चलो दिखाते हैं उस तरह से. So again we are taking the very simple condition. Suppose ये inflorescence का axis है. From the inflorescence axis we are talking about on the tip flower is present. So simply we are talking about these are the terminal flower, apex flower, terminal flower. So obviously whatever the tip region is there, that tip region it is occupied by the flower, so there is a no growth, no, this inflorescence axis it is not showing the expansion, it is not showing the growth. Suppose अब थोड़ा सा bottom में आ जाते, right, lower side. ये again ये axis है. Suppose these are the axis. Now again there is a presence of the leaf. Again यहाँ axis है. Again there is a presence, leaf flower present, and again यहाँ पे सबसे present होगा, that is smallest. So I am giving the number. ये number 1, the number 2, these are the number 3, and finally these are the number 4. So whatever we are talking about, these are the toward the base. Obviously these are the youngest flower. Youngest flower they present at the base. Why? Because mature flower or the old flower they are occupy the apex position. So whatever the youngest flowers are there, all those youngest flower they located, they present toward the base. That's why these are called as the basipetal type of arrangement. Got it? Got it? हाँ रामचंद्र, 70% to 80%, because it's not straightforward question, but you have to understand the concept, because कल की बात है ना मनप्रीत. I think there is a one in plan, when you read the plan kingdom, within 1 to 2 parameters you will get confused. But if you read notes and then you prefer NCERT, that time आपका confusion नहीं होगा. Okay? Yeah. because it's a quite difficult language to understand from the NCERT. So for that you have to create a strong base. अगर base strong होगा, so ultimately you can solve any kind of the questions. ठीक है चलो. Now we are taking the last point, special type of the inflorescence, and this part again we'll discuss in sexual reproduction of the plant. That is number one, hypenthodium inflorescence, and the number second, that is cythium inflorescence. So we are talking about, we are not taking the types. ये जो हम दोनों types देख रहे हैं, we are talking about in future planning. Future planning in the sense, in sexual reproduction of the flowering plant, we have to discuss this example. That's why I'm mentioning here. वहाँ पे मैं नहीं लूंगी. We are talking about special condition, special type of the inflorescence. Okay, special inflorescence. Two examples we are talking about. Number one, that is hypenthodium, and such type of this hypenthodium, it is very much common in case of the plant. So we are talking about first one, that is ficus. Ficus के हम तीन example लेंगे, okay? So we are talking about, that is ficus genus. These are the one kind of the genus, and under the ficus genus we are taking the three example. Number one is fig, number second people, and the number third banyan tree. All these are the plants, they having the common genus, that is ficus. Ficus plant means what? These are the one genus. So under the ficus you can remember the three example: fig plant, people plant, as well as the banyan. So hypenthodium inflorescence, they are present in the ficus genus, and under the ficus genus three examples आएंगे: fig plant, people plant, and the banyan plant. So what is meaning of the hypenthodium? Simple meaning of the hypenthodium. Hypenthodium, these are the one special type of the inflorescence. Ma'am, so meaning of the racemose, they grow apically, where the cymos, they go laterally. Yes, you can tell that point. Obviously, if you want, you can mention that point. Because apical से growth हो रहा है ना, because apex is free, that's why they showing the apical growth, while the cymos, they are showing lateral growth, because lateral branches, they form a new flower. So in case of the hypenthodium, what is meaning of the hypenthodium? In case of the hypenthodium, special condition is present. यहाँ पे three types के flowers present हो. Within a single inflorescence, three different types of the flowers are present. Inside this condition, male flower present होगा, as well as it is consist of the female flower, and as well as there is a presence of this sterile flower. Sterile flower, and that sterile flower also called as the neutral flower. Neuter. Neutral. It's a neuter flower. So three types of flowers are present. In which condition? In case of the hypenthodium. Please remember, whenever we are talking about the function of the neuter flower or the sterile flower, basically, simply, they provide food. They are not involved during the fertilization. Basic function, they provide the food. So if you want, you can draw the structure. Simple structure we are taking. Hypenthodium inflorescence. Who joined right now? Right now, in the sense, before 5 minutes. Who joined late? Because population increase हो रहा है हमारा. Night riders ही होंगे, late उठे होंगे, है ना? चलो. So we are talking about these are the hypenthodium. In case of the hypenthodium, basically these are the mouth. Small mouth is present towards the base. यहाँ पे towards this base, basically female flowers are present. These are the female flowers. Female flowers, they are present towards the, okay. Now we are talking about male flower. Male flower, basically they present towards the mouth. There is a presence of the male flower, and where male flower is present, exactly present at the mouth region. And whatever we are talking about the central part, यहाँ पे between the male and the female flower, we are the present of the third flower. That third flower nothing but we are talking about the sterile flower. So what is meaning of the hypenthodium? हम इसको आगे देखेंगे. In case of the pollination, in case of the hypenthodium, special kind of the pollination is performed with the help of the insect. So now what happened? Male flower they present towards the mouth. When any insect they get entered, now that pollen grain they easily dust on their body. They reach to eat sterile flower because sterile flower they provide the food, and ultimately that pollen grain they easily release on the female flower. So one kind of the modification, we'll discuss that part later. But please remember, hypenthodium means what? Means inflorescence means what? Single flower present नहीं होगा. Group of flowers are present. And in case of the hypenthodium, these are the very special condition where three different types of the flowers they are present within a one set, within a means they are present in a cluster. Male flower towards the mouth area, female flower towards the base, and between male and the female, sterile flower or neuter flowers are present who provide food to the insect. So this part we'll discuss in pollination part. Okay? So first special condition, that is hypenthodium. Number second, last one, we are talking about Scythium. Scythium type of the inflorescence. Scythium type of the inflorescence, basically it is present in case of the euphorbia. They are present in case of the euphorbia. And what is the meaning of the Scythium? Scythium, it is having some different types of the condition. Now it's a very special condition where inside the flower single female present hogi, single female, right? And now there is a presence of the many male flower. So what is meaning of the hypenthodium inflorescence? Simple, straightforward, only single female is present. Single female flower is present, but many male flowers are present. Single female and many male flowers are present. Along with that, we are talking about one condition, very special condition. यहाँ पे present होगा bract. There is a presence of the bract. We'll discuss that part later. Bract, basically these are the base of flower. Bract where it is present. जैसे हम कहते हैं thalamus region is present, उसी तरह से bract region भी present होता है exactly below the flower. Bract. So basically bract it's modified, and now this bract they form cup shape. Bract is present. So what is meaning of such condition? Chalo. So quickly we are talking about the diagrammatic representation for the euphorbia inflorescence, where they are showing a special type of the inflorescence condition, that is Scythium. In case of the Scythium, single female flower है, बहुत सारे male flowers present है, and bract they are showing cup shape. Cup shape means what? They cover entire male flower. We discuss quickly. हम diagram draw करके ले रहे हैं. This color means whatever is purple color, nothing but we are talking about the bract. Bract basically get modified. Bract basically they are very reduced structure, but in this condition, bract they cover the entire flower. Let's see. Female को draw करते पहले. So single female flower is present like this, and they came out from the bract area. So these are the female flower. Only single female flower is present. But there is a very special condition in case of the female flower. Normally, whenever you are using flower means what? Sepal, petal, stamen, carpel. These are the four essential parts which is present in flower. Sepal, petal, stamen and the carpel. But यहाँ पे एक modification हुआ है. In case of the Scythium, whatever the female flowers are present, in case of the female flower, both sepal and petal, they are totally absent. So sepal plus petal, both they are, who came, 1 second. Sepal and petal, both they are absent in case of the female flower. Something. So in case of the cythium, we are talking about presence of the bract. Bract basically they get modified. They form a cup shape and the maximum area of the flower, male flower, female flower, they cover. Then the female flower, single female है, and that female basically they are having modification, sepal and petal absent. Okay? And only reproductive part is present, that is gynoecium part. Now we are talking about the male. Male basically they reside inside the bract. So just see many male flowers are present. Suppose here we are talking about all these are the male flowers because it's having the androecium part. Okay, so now these are the condition where we are talking about they are male flower. Many male flowers are present, many. And obviously we are talking about the male, it means that only stamen part is present, right? So please remember this point whenever we are talking about the cythium. In case of the cythium plant, sepal and the petal are absent. बस यहाँ पे दो ही part present हो गए in entire inflorescence. One that is stamen part, that is male reproductive part. Another one that is gynoecium or carpel, which is the female reproductive part. Sepal, petals absent. And such type of this condition, these are present in case of the euphorbia, where bract also undergo the modification. Cup shape का bract होगा, they cover the all male flower and maximum area of the female flower. Female flower it is exposed outside because obviously she is single, and many male flower they reside inside the bract, and during the maturation obviously pollen they get released and they're showing the successful fertilization. वो बाद में देखेंगे, not right now. These are the part of pollination, we'll discuss later. Okay, so any doubt from the special condition, special type of the inflorescence? Number one that is hypenthodium and the number second that is cythium. Any doubt? Chalo. Next part we are talking about flower. And flower part again we'll see repeated in 12th standard also. वहाँ पे मैं flower cover नहीं करूँगी. Flower we are talking right now here. यही पे complete करेंगे. So next part we are talking about that is flower. You know very well, in case of the angiospermic plant, flower basically these are the characteristic feature. And whenever we are talking about the flower, flower basically these are the one reproductive part where shoot, what we say that is shoot apex is present, that or shoot bud is present, that shoot bud it is converted into floral bud and they form a new flower. So whenever we are talking about the flower, it is having total, whenever we are talking about the complete flower, it is having the total 4 parts. 4 whorls are present: sepal, petal, stamen, carpel. Okay, so we are talking about the flower, and in case of the flower, first of all we are talking about what is the meaning of complete flower. अगर एक भी part missing है, suppose in case of the flower sepal is missing, so that is not a complete flower. there is a requirement when we talk about complete flower where there are four walls. There four walls are present. That time we can say these are the flower, and that flower basically these are the complete flower. So we are talking about which is the four walls. Obviously, we start from the inner side. Toward the inner side, there is a presence of the gynoecium. There is a presence of the gynoecium, and plant family gynoecium, it is represented by the capital G. Plant family in nomenclature system, gynoecium be represented by the capital G. You know very well this gynoecium, or what we say, that is gynoecium, which is also called as the and nothing but we are talking about these are the female reproductive part, which is the essential. Another one we are talking about second part, that is androecium. In case of the androecium, simply it is represented by the single letter code in a plant family by the capital A. And whenever we are talking about the androecium, obviously these are the part of the male reproductive part, that is stamen, who produce the pollen grain and further who produce the male gamete. Both gynoecium as well as the androecium, they are essential part of the flower. These are the essential part. We are talking about the essential part because if you want to perform a successful fertilization, obviously male भी चाहिए, female भी चाहिए, right? So if sepal absent, petal absent, इतना ज़्यादा कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता flower. But if androecium and the gynoecium is absent, so that time there is no fertilization, and if no fertilization, no new flower, no new plant get generate. So that's why gynoecium, androecium, both they are the essential part. Another one we are talking about, that is corolla. Corolla basically is represented by the capital C, and corolla nothing but we are talking about these are the petals. Those are very attractive, beautiful in color, multiple colors. And finally we are talking about calyx, and calyx represented already we see used for the corolla. So on the basis of the pronunciation we are using K, calyx K. Okay, because corolla we already used, capital C we used for the corolla, so that's why we are using capital K on the basis of the pronunciation, that is calyx. And obviously whenever we are talking about the calyx, nothing but that is these are the steps. So from outer to inner or inner to outer, whatever you want to remember that point. So gynoecium, inner to outer, gynoecium, androecium, corolla, as well as that is calyx. So these are the four. Out of that four parts, two discuss essentially because they require for the fertilization, while corolla as well as the calyx, they are called as the non-essential part. Why we are talking about the non-essential? Because they does not involve directly in fertilization process. That's why they are called as the non-essential. But when what is the definition of the complete flower? Definitely there is a requirement of the four walls. It's included carpet, petal, as well as the sepal. So when four parts are present, collectively that time we can say these are the flower, which is a complete flower. Done? Done? Hmm? Okay, chalo. Yeah. Next part we are talking about quickly simple diagrammatic representation for the flower. And not taking too much detail actually. Chalo. Done. So one by one we are giving the name. These are the part. base part. These are called as the stack of flower. And please remember, stack of flower, these are also called as the pedicel, not peduncles. Peduncles we are used for the inflorescence axis. यहाँ पे हम बात करें pedicel. Pedicel means what? That is floral axis or floral stack. Now next part, ये जो middle वाला part है, this one, this part. So basically these are the swollen part. That part basically is called as the thalamus. Thalamus means what? Basically these are the swollen part which is present exactly below the ovary. Below the ovaries part is present. That's why it is called as the thalamus. Now quickly we are talking about the one part. These are the green color. That part it is basically it is called as the sepal. Very attractive pink color. Now these are the petals part. Now the white color. These are the part of the male reproductive part, that is androecium. Simply it is called as the stamen. And finally we are talking about at the center there is a presence of a female reproductive part, that is carpel. So carpel है हमारी female. Now the stamen basically they male, and sepal petal they are non-essential part of the flower. So ये तो आपको पता है. Just I want to tell you only one this word. Remember the pedicel, right? Pedicel and position for the thalamus, because next we are talking about on the basis of the thalamus position we are talking about the different types, 3 types. Okay? Yeah. Done? Done? Chal. Okay, Baba. So next part we are talking about flower, different actually nomenclature kind of, because it will be help in 12th part. So basically we are talking about flower that is bisexual flower. You know very well, bisexual flower means inside the flower both male and the female reproductive part is present, and the bisexual flower in symbols we have to represent like this. Okay, these are the symbol for the bisexual flower, where male and the female both reproductive part they present inside the one single flower. That's what is called as the bisexual. Next point we are talking about, that is unisexual. Unisexual flower, obviously whenever we are talking about unisexual flower, either male or female, right? So in under the unisexual flower, if we are talking about female flower, suppose female flower, so that female flower simply is called as the pistillate flower, because pistil nothing but female reproductive part, so female flower also called as the pistillate flower. And when you talk about male flower, so in case of the male flower, simply these are called as staminate. Staminate flower. Okay, staminate, because stamen is involved. That's why it is called as the staminate flower. Another question जहाँ पे confusion होगा, we are talking about the sterile flower. Sterile flower. And you know very well, whenever we are talking about the sterile flower, it means that the flower who does not involve during the process of the fertilization. So whenever we are talking about the sterile flower, that is also called as the staminode flower, not staminate. तो यहाँ पे present होगा staminode flower. Please don't get confused between the male flower and between the sterile flower. दोनों के suffix change है. Staminate we are using for female or male flower, right? Whenever you are using the word staminode, that time we have to remember example, that is sterile flower. That is sterile flower. Got it? Got it? Okay. Chalo. Next terminology. Example for the monoecious plant, example for the dioecious plant, example for the polygamous plant. Next point, we are talking about monoecious plant. And what is the meaning of the monoecious plant? Simple meaning है male female flower present on the same plant. Male female both flower present on same plant. Such type of this condition, simply these are called as the monoecious plant. Question already asked, because ये जो point है, these are the common for the reproduction in plant chapter. So example for the monoecious plant, that is coconut. CC का series आएगा actually यहाँ पे. C for coconut, C for the cucurbits, C for the castor. Okay. No dear. Whenever we are talking about the bisexual flower means what? Within a single flower. Within a single flower, male and the female both are present. दोनों different concept है. Bisexual flower is what? एक flower है. For example, suppose hibiscus. On that hibiscus plant, female part also present. That is gynoecium, androecium also present. Inside the single flower, both sexual part is present. That's what is called as the bisexual. What is meaning of the monoecious plant? Monoecious plant means what? On the same plant, both flowers are present. For example, female top पे हो सकता है, male flower it is present on the base, or on the one branch male is present, on the other branch female is present. So such condition. That's why we are talking about the monoecious. Got it? Monoecious. Both male and the female flower present on same plant. So example, remember the CC, coconut, cucumber, castor. Along with that maize. Maize also it is example of the monoecious plant, because हम आगे देखेंगे. Female present, male present on the top and the female present toward the bottom. So in case of the maize also there is a presence of the monoecious condition. And the next one we are talking about, that is Acalypha. Last example, Acalypha. Okay, so ask, no problem. Next point, we are talking about dioecious plant. Dioecious plant means what? Male and the female flower present on the two different plants. Dioecious plant. Simple meaning. जितना हो सकता है उतना short form में लिखो. Please don't any sentence. हमें ऐसे writing नहीं कर रहा है. So male and the female flower present on different plants. And example for the dioecious plant, obviously date palm, mulberry, and papaya. Okay, papaya. ये जो पार्ट है ना मोनोसियस एंड डायरेक्शंस प्लांट एग्जांपल, ये पार्ट फिर से रिपीट होगा इन चैप्टर रिप्रोडक्शन इन प्लांट, तो यहीं पे कर लो सब कुछ. नेक्स्ट पार्ट, polygamous plant. Polygamous means plant means what? All type of the flower, like male flower, female flower, sterile flower, bisexual flower, everything is present on the same plant. So poly है. The next one we are talking about polygamous plant. Polygamous plant, nothing but these are the plant where female, male, sterile, as well as bisexual. I'm using symbol. Okay, bisexual के लिए हमने symbol use किया है. Female, male, sterile, as well as the bisexual, all flower present on the same plant. Present on same plant. Such type of this condition, obviously the name, it is get originated polygonum, so it is present in polygonium plant. Polygonium. Another example, lychee. This condition also present in mango. That's it. Done. Dioecious. You can say unisexual also. Yes, you can say. Dioecious and the unisexual are the same. Yes, you can say, because हम कहते हैं ना कि unisexual flower means there is a male flower or the female flower. But whenever you are using the unisexual flower means that unisexual flower might be possible they present on the monoecious, they present on the dioecious. ऐसे भी हो सकता है ना. On monoecious, on the top male flower present and on the bottom female flower is present. So now what you use, that you have to use, that is on the top male flower present है, on the bottom female flower present है, so that time you have to use unisexual. So not compulsory, it depend upon the condition. Okay, compulsory nahi hai. Unisexual means that is related to only flower, only single flower. Whenever you are using dioecious and the monoecious, that condition is related to plant. On same plant, same means both male female present है या फिर only single present है, on the basis of that. ठीक है रामचंद्र, clear baba? I'm telling you one thing, dioecious and the unisexual is same to same. Sometimes it is applicable but not all time, because suppose हमने maize का example लिया. Maize, it is a monocot, and in case of the maize, on the top male flower present होता है, and on the bottom or during the middle female flower is present. So now tell me ये कौन सा plant हुआ? Maize, it is example of what? Tell me. I'm telling you male present on the top but female it is present on the bottom. So now tell me maize, it is an example of what? Monoecious plant. But if you consider a single flower, male flower different है, position is different, that is present on the top, female flower present at the middle. So now that time you can use the word these are the unisexual, because male अलग है, female अलग है. So these are the two different concepts. Please don't get confused. Monoecious, dioecious हम plant के लिए use करते हैं. On the same plant, same flower present है, means same मतलब male female present or any single sex is present. Whenever we are talking about the flower, unisexual means we have to imagine only the single flower. Plant को consider मत करो, only flower को consider करो. Okay, चलो. Yeah. Next point we are talking about. Yeah. चलो. Next point we are talking about. So actually diadelphous condition भी होता है, monoadelphous भी होता है, aclamidous भी होता है. So we are not taking that part because इतना difficult question यहाँ से नहीं बनेगा. Next point we are talking about types of flower based on their symmetry. Very simple, straightforward. Write down the title. Types of flower based on symmetry. Based on symmetry means simply we are talking about their cutting pattern. So basically 3 types are there. First of all, we are talking about actinomorphic. Whatever we are using this symbol, ये हमें floral family में use करना है. So please remember actinomorphic. And actinomorphic, it is represented by the symbol plus sign with circle, like this. Actinomorphic plus sign circle. So what is meaning of the actinomorphic? If you cut at any direction, right? If you cut many vertical cut, that time they can give equal size. So what is meaning of the actinomorphic? Many vertical cut that gives rise to equal size, ठीक है. So such type of this condition these are called as the actinomorphic. हम इसको radical नहीं कह सकते. Reason is what? Because इसके लिए हम एक simple example देखेंगे. Definitely they are the actinomorphic, but radical it is not applicable for all actinomorphic, because radical means what? Suppose there is a 4 petals are present, and if you cut into 4 section, now they divide into equal. ये हम आगे देखेंगे. C4 category, C4 in family हम देखेंगे वहाँ पे. ठीक है. That is a radical, that is a different. But here we are talking about the actinomorphic. Many vertical cut. If you give the many vertical cut and they give rise to equal size, that's why it is called as the actinomorphic. And such type of this actinomorphic, it is very much common in case of Brassicaceae family. It's very much in case of the Brassicaceae family, that is mustard family actually. Another one, Solanaceae family, potato family. Solanaceae family, that is potato family, and example we'll discuss later, that is Datura. So Brassicaceae family, Solanaceae family, and as well as the Malvaceae family, China rose family. Malvaceae family, that is China rose family. Example is China rose. So three example where actinomorphic flower is present, means you can create a many cut, vertical cut, but whatever the parts of that flower, they produce equal size. Number second, zygomorphic. Symbol for the zygomorphic, that is simply we are using percentage. बस इतना use करना है. So what is the meaning of that? There is a one vertical cut, only one, because हमें एक ही line दिखाई दे रही है, only one. So there is a one vertical cut and they gives rise to equal. So simply we are talking about not many, only one vertical cut, and they gives rise to equal size of the floral part. Such type of this condition is called as the zygomorphic. Example ये हम फिर से repeat करेंगे. Zygomorphic flower where there is a one specific cut, only one vertical cut, and they divide into two equal part of the flower. More than one, it is not applicable. Only one vertical cut. Such type of this condition, it is very much common in case of the Fabaceae family. And in case of the Fabaceae family, two famous example, pea plant and the beans. ये बार बार आएगा, pea and the beans. We studies repeatedly because बहुत time ही repeat हो रहा है. As well as the another example, it is also present in Gulmohar, and as well as it is present in case of Cassia. So zygomorphic, actinomorphic, and the second one we are talking about, that is zygomorphic. Last one, asymmetrical flower. Asymmetrical flower means what? उसको कितना भी divide करो, means कितना भी कैसे भी divide करो, but it is not divided into two equal half. That's what is called as the asymmetrical. Last point, asymmetrical flower. And asymmetrical flower, simple meaning, cannot cut. Yes, cannot, very good. Cannot divided into equal half. It is not divided into equal part. And the example for the asymmetrical flower, that is canna. Canna, banana. Remember, यहाँ पे बस canna है, not banana. We are talking about only canna. Asymmetrical flower. So basically, these are the types of flower based on the symmetry. Actinomorphic means when we cut, create, that time it's divided into equal size. Actinomorphic. Then we discuss about the zygomorphic. There is a one specific cut, one vertical cut. They produce the equal size of the flower. And asymmetrical cut, उसको कैसे भी cut करो, कितना भी cut करो, equal half में divide ही नहीं होगा. Example is canna. Got it? So any doubt from today's class? Any doubt from today's class? Okay. Tomorrow we'll start with the position of the flower on the basis of the thalamus. And this NEET 2020, there is one question from this part: hypogamous, perigamous, and the epigamous. Three types of the floral part on the basis of the thalamus. So हम कल start करेंगे hypogamous, perigamous, and the epigamous. And in this NEET 2020, एक question यहाँ से बना. ठीक है चलो. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. We'll continue this part in next class. Huh?